So it's been a while since I've done a video update, and as you can see, I've been relatively busy. I've cleaned the shop up because I had no space to do anything. It's the seating out the truck. We're down to the bare shell. I've made the new rear cross member for the cab and started making the sills. So all this is repurposed steel from the original autocar sleeper chassis that I built, and I'm going to do the same all the way along, just keep reusing the autocar's pieces. Basically anything that I don't need for that is going onto this. I took the tanks off yesterday, didn't film it. It's fairly straightforward and it wasn't exactly exciting, so just cut the straps with a grinder, lifted them out and threw them in the bin. But it makes the truck look a hell of a lot smaller. What I'm going to do today is come with the plasma cutter and take these plates off, or these bits of box section off that used to hold the fenders on. I realised I made a bit of a mistake here because this truck was fenderless from the factory, meaning I didn't need to build fenders, and in doing so it means the fenders are going to be at this height and the fifth wheel is going to have to be even higher up in order to avoid the trailer hitting them. So I'll cross that bridge when I come to it, but I think what I'm going to do is take some of my sleeper, girder that used to be part of the side structure for the concrete crusher, and turn two cuts of it into some massive fifth wheel plates, because this fifth wheel plate here is ruined. Mount the fenders to the fifth wheel plate, the fifth wheel plate to the girders, and then everything is at the right height that way. And with some of the leftover girder, I'll make the fifth wheel ramps. So I'll stick the ramps obviously at the back, like these supports are, obviously not quite at this angle, and when I reverse into the trailer it'll let me just slide on. The Deutz should be easy enough to take out. You've got two engine mounts either side, one at the front of the Deutz, one at the back. The bolts look like they're going to come undone. If not, it'll be the gas axe. And what I'll do once it's out is probably mount it on a little stand and see if it will run. Yeah, I'm hoping it does, because then I can sell it. So I'm going to get set up with the plas. I'll put this onto a time lapse and I'll cut these off. rust. So we're hooked up the wrong way, but the best way possible. The mount, or the lifting eye in the back's missing, and the lifting eye in the front's corroded. So I've gone around the engine mounts, hopefully be all right. We'll find out. I might add a secondary chain that goes across the other direction as well. We'll see what happens when I start to lift it. If it wants to tip, I'll add another chain. But the plan is, come in with the gas axe and we'll just go, done, out.
Motherfucker!
So I lost a little bit of footage yesterday. One of the SD cards for my GoPro corrupted. Don't know why, but this is it. The Deutz is out. Yeah, I'm going to make a little stand and just lift it up off the floor slightly, and then try and run it. Need to pop the top cover off and just make sure everything's good inside. See, check the oils. There was still fuel in the fuel lines when I undid the filter yesterday, so I should be able to just dump them back into a small tub of diesel. The lift pump works, which I'm amazed by as well. And then we'll take off these big hydraulic pumps and hydraulic filters because, well, they're just in the way otherwise. So that whole assembly on the back can come off. That's just bolted onto the bell housing. Then I'm going to bin that pipe work. I'm going to keep the hydraulic pump, keep that hydraulic pump as well. So that one's cam drive. This one's driven off the crank, obviously. I can't remember where this went to, if I'm quite honest. Got a throttle cable down here, starter. I'll disconnect the alternator, and yeah, fuck knows what I'm going to do with it, but it's out. It's a lot bigger than it looked as well when it was on the truck. I didn't realise quite how wide it was. As you can see, truck's fully stripped now. So I'll come back later and just finish chopping all this off and tidying these up. And I will cut these bits of plate off as well, just while I'm at it. I'm going to keep the, I'll keep the eyelets here. There's no point in me welding them up because I may well find a use for them. Whether it's an additional support for the fifth wheel plate or I don't know, yeah, mounting electricals through, or also running electricals through. I just, yeah, don't know yet. Yeah, we'll vacuum all this out, make it nice and tidy, weigh that dust in, because it is magnetic. And that'll be that. Now, a few questions people have asked me about the truck, just while I remember. So, it is a 1981 C540, built for export, and it was ordered new by Hina Haulage. Well, Zahid Hina of Hina Haulage for a job in Saudi Arabia on the oil fields. So, at the time of build in July 1981, it was the only truck of its spec and colour in existence. By that I mean the orange and white paint job, which was Hina's standard, and then a 3408 Eaton 10-speed and Eaton AT1202 reduction box with SFD 460 axles in it. It's now got SU 280 axles in it, I think. They're either SU 280s or SW 280s. Just going off the flange pattern on the half shafts or drive shafts, and B, the fact that these are no longer a top-loaded axle but a front-loaded axle. Got a Hendrickson walking beam on the back. That's a £65,000 walking beam still, so it is heavy duty. These Trilex wheels, so it's a Trilex adapter onto a Bud hub, and see, standard style Dayton spacer rings, and this is the Trilex wheel down here. Nice and easy to change a tyre in the field. All you need is a couple of pry bars, and you just wrestle this segment out. As you can see, it's got an additional cutout there, and then the rest of the wheel falls away. reverse the process when you put it back together with the new inner tube. Now, it has had a crash. That part was true. I don't know what it hit though. I was told a train, and then I was told it wasn't really possible because the train would have written it off. So it's one of those, but you can see there's a weld there and a big dent in the bumper. So it has hit something really hard and really big. A, to be this high up, and B, to have ripped this 10mm steel bumper. And this isn't mild. I'm pretty sure it's Core 10. Might even, or could be Domex, some sort of very heavy duty steel. You can also see the repair there and the kink in the bumper. And of course the chassis rail is slightly bent, as is one of those torque rods. So, don't know if you can make that out, but the chassis has got a slight twist in it. And then if I come around here, you'll see the torque rod difference. So that one, nice and straight. This one got a big fat bow in it. We're also dual steering box setup, so we got this sort of slave box here and the master on the driver's side. And then moving forward, plans for this, as a couple of people have asked. So, A, it's being turned back into a tractor unit. That's fairly obvious. B, I'm going to modernise it slightly. Not very much, but just slightly. So, in there, obviously we've got a decent length prop shaft, and there's space for an AP 1750 4-speed Brownie in that area, which means I'll be able to increase the cruising speed to 60 miles an hour quite easily. Right now it's geared to do about 45 to 52, which isn't enough to keep up with modern UK traffic. So that'll be the first modernisation once the fellas paid me off for the autocar. So that'll get me out of the shit, and it'll also leave a bit of money spare for this. The engine's not being changed, but it will come out. It'll be stripped down and given a full clean. The brake saver system will get given the same treatment. The pipework needs replacing, so I'll weld up some stainless pipe, as I've got a load of bits of exhaust left over. The air compressor needs rebuild. It's slow to build pressure, and the seals are probably worn out just because it's been sitting that long. That toolbox there, that's coming off. That'll be replaced by another one. So I'll make another 6mm toolbox. This one's just a bit manky, and I want to change its dimensions slightly so I can fit gas bottles inside. Now, the sleeper cab, plan is, obviously, end cabs there, or end of truck cabs there, we'll extend the sleeper from a coffin back to around here, which leaves more than enough room for a fifth wheel and trailer swing, but it also gives me a nice, comfortable living area, which was one of the reasons why this truck went to auction or was sold off to the scrapyard, because no one wanted to drive it when it came back to the UK and live in a 32-inch coffin. Compared to our UK cab overs, there's not much space in a coffin, is there? And that's pretty much it on the chassis mods front. The cab's not getting anything different to it really, although, well, we'll have a flat bulkhead. Because the cab sits that high, it doesn't need the turbo cutout, and I'm going to move the turbo anyway. I'm going to get a twin setup and do it marine style. Going to try and reuse as many of the bits as I can. So things like these steps. This one's really nice. no damage to it. The bottom one, as you can see, it's got a kink in one end and a bit of a tear just under that wire roll. And then this end is buckled. Other side's pretty similar. One good step, and you can see that one there, one mangled step. So I'll straighten it out as best I can, but I'll leave some character. Same with reusing this handle for the driver's side cab. So you see where all the chrome's worn off over the years of people grabbing it and getting into the truck. Be nice to keep that. So I'll just rub that down and lacquer it. But yeah, other than that, not much to say on it until I get my tanks and everything. So a friend of mine has done me some tanks as a favour. I've swapped him some old car parts I had. So they'll make an appearance in the next video. I won't be fitting them though. I'm going to take all these brackets off, sandblast them, paint them up, make them nice. Do the same to the chassis. So this area obviously won't be able to get to once the tanks are in. So what I'm going to do is I'll pull these brackets off, sandblast the brackets, wire brush the chassis, and get it back to bare metal. Then paint it in a good high quality 2K. I've got a load of Rust-Oleum paint left over, and yeah, that stuff's great. Direct to rust, kills any future rust, and it's hard wearing. So this sort of area, not a problem. And then the inside of the chassis rail, I'm going to strip all that wiring out, strip all the old air lines out, and we'll basically just rerun everything. I've got a load of braided hose left over from another project, and obviously everything that's not being used on the auto car, now that I've sold it, is jumping ship and coming onto this one. Yeah, that's it for this video. If you've got any questions, let me know and I'll try and answer them. But thanks for watching.